10 years of Trump, 5 ways America has changed. I'm Jim Drastic.
I'm Tiffany Drastic.
And I'm Nick Knutson. And today on The Dangerous Ones, we are talking about the fact that yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the day that Trump descended that golden escalator and announced his first run for president.
Boy, it fucking feels
10
like
years, right?
Oh, boy.
It's 100, maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
And remember in his announcement speech, you know, he leaned right into the racism that has defined both of his terms, calling Mexicans, you know, rapists and criminals. And now we've got ICE, you know, aggressively rounding people up in the streets just for having brown skin. So here we are. So 10 years.
10 years, right?
Do you remember the before times?
Fucking barely.
Okay. I do remember that day, and I remember watching Rachel Maddow that night. And that night, she was laughing about it, right? She's like, first of all, you said this completely horrible racist stuff, but she was like, and you can see it, and I'll show pictures of it. There were people in white T-shirts that said, "Trump, make America great again." It's before he had the red going and all that. And they were all paid to be there.
Yep.
And she was talking about how she was showing the ads for people to show up to this rally, and they were just giving them T-shirts so he could be. So it was all just a show. And, but man, that day changed America and the world. Yeah. Forever.
Imagine having been one of those people who actually showed up.
Oh, my God.
Imagine the
Where
regret.
are you now? Call our hotline, 503-212-4600.
Yeah, no, but seriously, in some timeline somewhere, you know, Trump decided to run a media company instead of run for president. And, you know, that's a very different reality.
Yeah. And what Tiff and I were just talking about this the other day is, because you said, I miss the America.
I miss who people were before him. Yeah.
You could still go to, Thanksgiving dinner and not get in a fight. You could still like and share things from your friends on Facebook. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it just changed everything, and it's really too bad.
So, I mean, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think are some of the biggest ways that things have changed? You know, I'll start by just saying, like, everything is just louder and meaner.
Yeah.
Especially in politics. Like, he has shattered norms that have been around for the entire existence of America, you know, in terms of like political decorum, spreading disinformation, insulting the press, insulting
insulting veterans,
acting like a child. There you go.
Like little Marco. I remember telling Ted Cruz that his wife was ugly. All
it's
this
just so beneath
stuff.
the office.
And but then they, like, part of the problem with what happened is, like, he lays these political insults on people within his own party, and they end up kissing the ring. And that's just been really sad.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
American politics has definitely gotten meaner and louder.
Yeah.
And and now, even on both sides of the aisle, it has spread over. Not that we're meaner, but we're definitely louder.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, he changed everything.
Yeah, just think about the Elon Trump stuff that happened, a couple weeks ago, and how massive a story that would have been if, like, the richest man in the world and the president of the United States got into, like, a pissing match on social media, like slinging insults and shit back at each other, right? Like 15 years ago, that would have been such a massive thing.
That's all that would be on the news. It wouldn't have even shown any of the protests.
It was like a sideshow for a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and that's the thing, is you can't unring that bell. Right? Now that politics has become this nasty, and people just feel emboldened to say the craziest stuff to their political rivals, there's no unringing that bell. It's now a thing.
It's not just that. It's you say it to each other in real life. Like, the disinformation now is off the charts. Like, it is king. It doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. They'll just give you alternative facts, right? Anyways, it's just keep lying. Just keep lying until people think it's the truth. It doesn't matter. Loyalty is what matters. So now, like, you can't even sit down, like you were saying, at Thanksgiving dinner because half the shit that is coming out of these people's mouth is not even true. And even if you know what the truth is, they're not interested in hearing it. And so you just you stop talking to each other. You stop hanging out. Now you're not friends with Bill, you know, now you don't go to your dad's for Thanksgiving.
That's a really big one, the normalization of disinformation.
Yeah. It's become
a massive problem.
Very, very scary. You know, that's a great point. The third way that America has changed since the golden escalator moment was democracy itself took a hit.
Yeah.
Between undermining elections, stacking courts, attacking institutions like the DOJ, Trump normalized anti-democratic behavior. And because, you know, January 6th was not a fluke. It was a consequence of doing that. So him coming out and just, I mean, this is why I don't understand the right-wing people who support Trump, because they try to position themselves as being super patriotic, yet what you're doing is you're supporting somebody who doesn't want democracy at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's Florence Nightingale syndrome. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Well, that's how you know it's a cult.
Yeah,
because
that's a good point.
You know, once you start to unravel the onion, which they cannot do, they cannot face.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to admit that you've been conned, that you've been duped.
Yeah.
That you got taken for a ride. It's really fucking embarrassing. Anyone who's been conned or scammed, it's really fucking embarrassing. And these are people who have like staked their lives.
Yeah.
They've disowned their own children for this man.
Yeah.
Like they're not, you know, it doesn't matter what you say.
Well, and if I may really quick, it's just like that person that you were trying to hand that American flag to that we were talking about in yesterday's episode. She was like, "Oh, I like my king more than your president." I'm like, "What are you talking that?" And when you see people that wear shirts that's like, I'd rather have a dictator than have a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what?
I mean, she couldn't even handle a tiny act of kindness. Her springs fucking popped. Like, they are not fully, like, something's wrong in the way that they process information.
Yeah. Nick, what's the number 4 way America has changed since the golden escalator incident?
Okay, so the number 4 way, I'll have to throw in here the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
It's just massive.
It just makes me so fucking sad.
And I mean, you know, more or less probably any Republican in office would have, I mean, the Federalist Society just shoots these, I mean, they come down a slide. It's like, okay, it's Kavanaugh's turn, you know, okay, it's Coney Barrett's turn.
Right.
But still, I mean, just the impact is just ridiculous in terms of, like, you know, Roe versus Wade, regulatory rollbacks, voting rights getting weakened, you know, it's just...
Regulatory rollbacks is a good one, too. I mean,
huge.
I mean, the repercussions of what they've done will go on for generations, not to mention the Roe v. Wade and those other things.
Yeah.
So
and what's to come.
The Supreme Court taking a hard right is a very, very good point and deserves to be on the list because that's for sure. That is one definite way that we have never seen this before.
Yeah.
Some, you know, a court be this...
Yeah, politicization.
Yep. Tiffany, what is the number 5 way America has changed?
Number 5 is America's global reputation has declined.
Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, you know, they started out laughing at us and now they feel pity and compassion for us because they know that, like, we're all living this fucking nightmare and they're just watching it from afar.
And America was the beacon of democracy worldwide.
Yeah.
And now when you have, like, even Canada and the UK going like, we can't rely on America right now, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's very isolating, which is exactly what malignant narcissists love to do to people in their life. They isolate you from your friends, from your allies, from your support systems, so that you're completely reliant on their crazy sauce. And now that's where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tariffs and all that. I mean, it's just been a total disaster.
Yeah. So to recap, the 5 ways that America has changed since Trump came down that golden escalator 10 years ago yesterday. Number 1 was American politics got meaner and louder. Number 2, disinformation became a weapon. Number 3, democracy took a hit. Number 4, the Supreme Court swung hard right. And number 5, America's global reputation declined.
Yep.
Yeah.
What ways do you think America has changed since Trump came down that golden escalator? Call us at 503-212-4600. You can leave a message 24 hours a day, and you can also remain anonymous. You can email us at shout@thedangerousones.com. And folks, please like and subscribe this video. And if you are listening to us, please leave us a 5-star review. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so by going to thedangerousones.com. That'll take you over to our Substack, where you can become a paid subscriber. Until then, stay safe, get into good trouble, and remember, we are all the dangerous ones.